the Giants today, and not only is Chicago playing some of the best defense in the NFL, they're continuing to score touchdowns. The Bears lead the NFL in takeaways, interceptions, and defensive touchdowns, scoring at least once on defense in 3 of the last 4 games. For more on this matchup, Josina Anderson is live getting ready for Bears-Giants. Hi, Josina.
Hi, Sam. Well, you know what? It's not just the fact that this Bears defense is getting in the passing lanes. 12 of their interceptions have come on passes targeted to wide receivers. Pay attention, Odell Beckham Jr. Not to forget that they're ranked second against the run, and that might be a factor with the rain here today. Pay attention, Saquon Barkley. But Bears cornerback Prince Amukamara telling me, even though they're 3-8, we will still have no mercy because they still have playmakers. But the story still persists on offense with Mitchell Trubisky out with that right shoulder injury still. Bears wide receiver Allen Robinson telling me when I ask him, he tells me that he feels good. He's still bouncing around the facility. He seems optimistic. Hopefully he comes back next week. But with that, Chase Daniel still getting his second start. And when I asked the Mukamara, does this team still have the same swag with Daniel? He told me, Josina, this is no lie. Daniel is a starter in this league, mainly because his situational awareness is elite. He knows when to throw it away. He knows when to clock it, and his precision in practice makes it feel like a game. But when I asked Robinson, does their expectation on the season remain the same, he said, Josina, our goal remains to win the division. And when I asked him, can this team get to the Super Bowl, he told me, quote, definitely. Sam, back to you.
All right, well, then it's settled. They're going to the Super Bowl. Sounds like a plan. They got a deal, the Bears that is, with Saquon Barkley today. The 2018 rookie class has been impressive, led by Giants running back Saquon Barkley. He leads all rookies in rushing, #1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield has the most touchdown passes and passing yards, and Calvin Ridley leads the rookie class in receiving. So if we're going to talk some college ball, you got to bring in the college guys, which sounds like really fun to be called the college guys.
I guess. Yeah. 23 years now.
You're sticking around. I like it. Yeah. Good to see some old friends, Kirk Herbstreit and David Pollock, with us this morning. You guys know these guys so much, spending 3 or 4 years watching them play in college. Is there anybody, when it comes to a rookie this year in the NFL, that stands out as either just really impressive or surprising at all to you?
Well, I think what Baker Mayfield's had to try to endure in Cleveland has been unique, and I think he's got an incredible future. But Vander Esch, the linebacker,
he's good.
Has been amazing with the way he has stepped in. Sean Lee's been down, and he's done amazing things. Saquon, obviously, is just insane. The talent that he has, I think we're just seeing the beginning of his career.
But you knew that, right, David?
Yeah.
Like when we watched him at Penn State, he just made people look silly. Are you surprised at all?
Okay, but here's the thing. I didn't know if he'd make grown men look silly like that. And that's what's crazy. Like now, he's still playing the video game that he played in college that we watched for 3 years. And I didn't think it would be that much fun and it would be that easy for him. Like, listen, let's make no mistake about it. I watch the Giants offense. It's painful. I mean, you watch him though, and you're like, good Lord, what can't this dude do? He's hurdling people just like he did, catching the ball in the backfield. So I know Vander Esch is good, but
yeah,
that guy right there, it's the same. It's just as easy.
It's like he's still doing his squats. Still making time for the
He does not miss leg day.
You can't spell legendary without leg day.
I think when you guys talk about the transition that Saquon Barkley made from college to the pros, I think there was a lot of concern, but strength wasn't one of them. One was being able to make the transition from playing, you just alluded to, talking about playing with grown men.
Yeah.
And out there on the field with grown men, he's making them look like boys, as you just said. So for him to be drafted, you know, Rex, you've been saying this about the Giants made the right decision of drafting him instead of a quarterback. So the thing that really sticks out to me, you guys were in college, is how the college game has transitioned over to the National Football League, but speeding the pace of the game up with the options, the shovel passes, jet sweeps and things like that. So I like the transition from what the college game has done to the pro game.
Would you have liked to play in that offense?
Putting up more points.
You know he wants the ball.
I know. You know, just thinking back a couple weeks ago, going to the Monday night game against the Rams and the Chiefs, where it was 50 points plus by each team. So I like what the college football game has transitioned over to the pro game, because it is fun to see.
I bet you I'd love to ask. Rex, I'd love to ask you, Andy Reid. I mean, if there's anybody who's West Coast offense, old school, it's Andy Reid. How about his ability to adjust, become even more innovative, and get to this style of offense? That to me is awesome.
Well, I think it's all about the weapons. What great coaches do is they take the talent that they have and they say, hey, you know what? we're going to incorporate some of this. Tyreek Hill, I mean, all this stuff fits into him. The jet sweeps and all that type of stuff. Why? Because he has him. He's got an unusual quarterback with the athleticism, Pat Mahomes. So you're going to see that. But I credit Andy for making that adjustment. It's not about your system. It's about your players. And it's adjusting your system, and nobody's done that better than Andy Reid. Now, trust me, I'll get after this stuff in a second. But
there have been other guys that have had players like this that haven't adjusted to this style.
No, but I get it. They're also not as good as Andy Reid is as a coach.
Yeah.
Right. But what the thing that gets me is the defenses haven't adjusted yet. And you know who has? The veteran defensive coordinators, the Vic Fangios out there, Don Martindale. All these type of guys are sitting back. Romeo Crennels and all that type of stuff. They got their defense rolling right now. They don't worry about this stuff. The RPOs and all that.
What's the answer?
You put gray area. Anytime you're facing an option football team, an RPO team, you got to put gray area out there. Make them read. Yeah, they're reading the obvious things. You crash your end. Okay, I'm going to pull the thing. I'm going to throw the pass out there. Even in the option, that's always been it. So you always put gray area in there. Change things up. Absolutely, but
have the backer take the end.
There's so many things you can do with it. Even if you just freeze the linebacker, that'll surprise people. But the thing that gets me is all these teams right now. Why are teams putting up all these points? Because the defense are running one front, two coverages, one blitz, one fire zone. My gosh, that's what I did in Pop Warner. It's just ridiculous.
Because when you go fast, it's harder to communicate. So that's what happens. You get simplistic defensively. But the thing I like about this for the NFL purposes, like y'all used to take guys, and it took so long to develop into a pro-style system. Now you've been in the system. Now you take Patrick Mahomes. He can immediately flourish and thrive because it's a system he's familiar with. So now I think you'll see, we always talk about air raid guys don't translate. You can't be an air raid quarterback. Well, now if you adapt the system to what they do, you don't have to deal with the development for 2 or 3 years. And you don't have to deal with those headaches. Now you got those guys coming in. They're successful right away.
Guys, because everybody's doing those 7-on-7 leagues and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it is a lot different. That's why these quarterbacks can come in the league. I don't want to hear about, well, we're going to sit him on the bench and develop. Well, he develops right now because if you're a head coach, put him out there. Why wouldn't you? But you got to be creative yourself. Andy Reid, as we mentioned, done a tremendous job of that. But
Sean McVay,
Randy and I were smiling while Rex was going. Rex could go for a week on defenses, not
Rex, you need to go to the Big 12 and give us some more.
Can you imagine? The Vegas would be popping out. It would not be good for them. It would not be good for them. All right,
it wouldn't be good for not be good for college football.
There is a reason you're here today.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't just come to visit us in Bristol. No. You totally do.
The weather's beautiful. I don't know why we wouldn't.
We do want to talk about who you think is in. Of course, everybody assuming that Clemson, Alabama, and Notre Dame are in. Who's your fourth?
My third team is Georgia. Georgia was at 4 going into the weekend. They outplayed the best team in the country, the best team we've seen in years, for 59 minutes and ended up losing a close game. Jalen Hurts is the hero. So I moved Georgia up. They went from 4 to 3. Notre Dame goes to 4. So my fourth team would be Georgia.
The studio doesn't change and the sweat still does.
It's amazing. I get worked up.
I've never seen somebody
him not sweating.
I don't have my air conditioning.
He has an AC unit next to him.
Always.
I think I have Georgia at 4. Now listen, I don't think the committee's going to do that. I think Oklahoma's going to get in. But what
would you do? I don't care about the committee.
I learned more about Georgia in that loss than I did all season. I thought Alabama would win by 2 touchdowns. I mean, I thought Alabama was far superior. It was crazy to see Georgia's and their defense and their
quarterback Fromm play right now as well as anybody.
Swift looks like being back now changes that team completely, being back healthy. He looked like a man amongst boys yesterday. So I had Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Georgia at 4.
But I heard on Twitter that y'all are just some SEC homers.
That's all we are.
I don't know.
I hate Ohio State.
This Ohio State guy is such an SEC homer. Wait, really quick? Who do you think the committee will put in?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's going in by the committee.
Okay. So you have your opinion, but you also know that you're kind of wrong in terms of what's actually going to happen. I like you. That's conviction.
And we know what they're going to do.
That is conviction. I like it. That's an interesting room to be in right now. The countdown is on. 2 hours, 11 minutes left till we find out who's in. Coming up on Countdown, Patriots Still looking to keep pace with the Chiefs in the AFC. Why Tom Brady could be in for a long day against the Vikings defense. And Aaron Rodgers against Larry Fitzgerald today inside their craziest playoff moment.
Once he touches him, just tackle him. And, you know, he's weaving around the field and making guys miss. And, man, he's still kind of fast. Why can't we tackle him?